think I'm on Facebook. Ugh, so good. I love tech. Okay. I think we're all here. I just need to now move my screen so I can see my notes. So if you guys are here, say hello. Yay, Therese. Therese knows the drill. She's like, Robin's gonna ask me if I'm here. She's so good. And I am. I want to know that I'm not talking to myself today. So good to have you here. So good to have all of you here. Just remember that there is a slight lag. Hang on. Not important. Hey, Christy. I can't even remember what I was saying. Oh, if you're just realize your comments have a lag. Your comments have like a 20-second almost lag. So if I'm ever like sitting here in silence and you're like, dude, I typed something, just know that if you've never done a live video streaming, then there is a lag on people's comments. So Violet is here. Yay, you guys are so good. I love that you guys are all saying hello. Keep it up. Anyone that comes on between, anyway, say hello, say hello. Christy's here too. Yay! Our topic today is really important. It is really important. Natalie's here. Hey, she says howdy. So good. Today's topic is really important. If you don't know who I am Robin Whitworth. I am the CEO of the Elevated Mother. And all the programs that we have, the facilitator of them. And this topic is really important. Today we're talking about CEO mindset for moms within the trajectory of thought of how do you balance it. And I know, hey, Serena and Stacy are here too. You guys are so great. So many of my dear friends, such great guys. Develop a group in your life of people that support you. It's just wonderful. I would say of everyone that comes into this group, the Elevated Mother Collective, and they come in to support, they come in to find out what we do here, they find out because we talked about something we're going to talk about here, right? They wanted to be on a specific call we've taught or something. What we ask you guys membership questions, and Amy's here too. In the membership questions, we say, what is something you struggled with that we could probably support you on, like all of these things. And one of the top ones we get from moms, whether they're an entrepreneur or not, which isn't surprising to me, especially based on one of the main key points I'm going to bring up today, whether they're an entrepreneur or not, balance comes up quite a bit. I'm struggling to balance it all. I'm struggling to know how I can even prioritize myself when I feel like I'm not even prioritizing my home, my marriage, my faith, my kids, and it gets to be known, ladies, if you list out those kinds of things and you are last, start there. Start there. Okay? So if you have not prioritized yourself, that will be the difference on everything else on your list that you feel like you're out of balance with. Okay? So if you get nothing else from this class today, prioritizing your growth, your care, your health, your mind, your peace, all the pieces that make you you, if that is not being nurtured on a consistent basis, You will feel burnout and lack of clarity. You will feel so many emotions of these circumstances around you because when you aren't taking care of this vessel well, this vessel literally spins with everything else. In our programs, we call that energy leaks. We call them shiny object distractions. We call them different things, but that's what's happening. When you become centered in yourself and you're thinking in your own mind regularly, it's like a colander that helps you sift out what's really important out here, outside of you. Okay, that wasn't even in my notes, but it feels really right. Tell me, all y'all that are in the comments, any thoughts on that? Yes, no? We're gonna go into balance. And as I promised, those of you that have been reading my posts, we are opening a brand new little segment of a program called the Elevated Mother Business. Yes, Natalie. Yes, yes, yes. And inside there, we are going to go into depth in a whole class with a workbook and stuff around topics that will touch this, right? And yeah, Natalie, those that can see the comments. Staying within is the challenge. Yay, Christy's here. All of these things touch this. And when you feel like you're out of balance within it all is when you are allowing your circumstances to be personal. So the challenge with staying within is when you're allowing your circumstance to be personal, right? We're not present within ourselves. I don't know if that connected. I lose my mind sometimes, and that's okay. So let's dive into some of these things. I promised I would go over, that's what I was going to say, right? I promised I would go over there's 8 things that I will make sure, and we're going to cover in that Elevated Mother Business around mom CEO mindset. How do you do mom and business well? And I'm covering 3 of them today. Oh, look, fun little hand gestures. These are so fun. They just pop up surprisingly to me. Anyway, so we're going to cover 3 of those specifically. There is another class inside here in the Elevated Mother Collective called How I Balance a 6-Figure Business with a Family of 7. Like, that's the title. I know that I used the similar language when I was promoting this call because we are going to cover similar content, but there is some great points. In fact, I have the notes from that class. I don't know if I wrote the date. Dang, I didn't write the date on here. I wonder if Google lets you know what date you created something. But anyway, thank you, Missy. My team is messaging me that I look beautiful. So that's wonderful. So let's talk about this. Let's be sure we're on the same page. Now, we talked about what it can feel like if you're not taking care of this. You can just feel like you're swirling around in all the things. So you feel guilty sometimes. Mom guilt is probably a word that you've thought of. Yes? You feel guilty when you're in a late meeting and the kids are running around and they're touching stuff in the house, or they're eating popcorn in the living room, and you feel like they're watching too many screens. And then they wake up the next day and they've got candy in their hair. Maybe this really happened to me. A lollipop stuck to their underwear. And you're like, am I like a failure here? Am I failing as a mom? Like, let's just really talk about this. Anybody had moments like that? Not exactly like that, but like where you kind of just look around and you're like, can I really claim this title? Can I just really? I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing this. Nobody? Somebody type. I'm waiting for the lag because I want to make sure. Sometimes you get on a a work meeting. Natalie, yes. Do you see in my windows? Yes. Thanks, you guys. And not only me feeling better, seeing these people in the chat gets to give you more than one witness that you are indeed not only not a failure, but the next time you see this kind of thing and you go, ugh, you go, huh, I wonder who else is having a morning like this, because I know there is some. All of a sudden you're not alone in it, right? You can laugh about it. You can probably make a Facebook post about it. Hey, mom, who else has candy stuck to somebody's bed this morning? You know, like people love to feel relatable in their imperfection, right? Because we are. This is so good. And I'll tell you, like, when this starts happening, and it will, and it does, I have had previous thoughts years ago now where I'd be like, oh, I need to take a step back. I need to stop serving people because I'm clearly not even serving my kids. I have to not show up in this space. I'm going to have to just, and I'm not saying this can't be real for you to where possibly there is so many things going on that you do get to start going within, and you may feel legitimately that you have possibly gone beyond the mark on something and you get to let something go. That is real. Respect it, not judging, just sharing. That I've heard moms be like, oh, I have to take a step back. And their reason isn't because I went within and got really aligned and started self-care and therapy. I now know I probably need to drop this off my plate. It's my kids just need me, and my husband's been upset, and they're listing all of these things that then they have taken responsibility for, and it feels big and heavy. Thereby, everything feels like a mountain. Think about that. Moms all over the world are creating mountains of taking responsibility for everyone's experience in their circle of influence. When you go within and you do that work, which we do beautifully in the Elevated Mother Experience program, and you're going to see it in the Elevated Mother Business program, then you've done that work, you have the clarity, and you've worked with the spirit, and that's what gets to let you know. Together with you, with your agency. Nothing on the outside can make you do something. It all comes from within here. Always. Okay? So then what's so interesting is when people then step back or they stop serving, and there's an immediate like relief, like, okay, because what you did is you gave back the experience to these people. Oh, if I just step back from this team, I no longer have to worry about, you know, Josephina and Stella and Gertrude. I don't have to worry about what they're doing. Of course, there's going to be immediate relief. Of course. Of course, there's going to be immediate relief. But don't mistake that for the answer from God that you made the right decision. That is a physical, emotional experience when you've handed back people their agency for their own experience. Think about that. Okay? So because that's a human emotional experience, that relief usually only lasts a small period of time. And you get a little bit of oxygen again, you feel like you're doing a little bit different, and then you get inspired again. You think, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, but you never really did any work different here. You just started getting discontented again. Because your natural ability is to want to serve and to be part of people's lives, but you haven't learned the skill, not taking responsibility for everybody, right? So this is just one of the biggest things that I see moms doing. And there's lots of reasons for it. The variables for the reasons a mom would do that are vast, but it's usually somewhere around that is when they step back and feel that relief is because they've just given those people their life back, really. And so I want to talk about, there's 8 things that we're going to talk about in the Elevated Mother business. And I'm getting my notes off my phone here because that's where they are today. The first one out of the 8, and we're going to do the first 3. I don't know why this thing numbered them and skipped 2, but that's okay. The first thing, if you're taking notes, Amy, that is wisdom right there. She says, I just had a thought. When we're looking for things to let go of, what if we started with the responsibility for things and people that we're not actually responsible for? I think that takes work to know what that looks like. I know Amy does because she's been through the Elevated Mother experience. Beautiful. I'm going to see what these other comments are in here. Natalie says, how do you tell the difference? My heart has a hard time letting go of anything that I love. And sometimes I take on the world. I think there's some practice. I think there's some mentorship. A lot of times, though, I get to sit with myself and say, okay, is this a human experience or is this a spiritual experience? How am I feeling? And a lot of that is the practice of meditation helps me to know, like, am I really wound up spiritually here, or do I feel depleted emotionally, right? I have a lot of skills and worksheets and different things that have helped me to learn over the years of who I am and how to decipher that. So I think that's personal, but it's totally doable. It's a skill. And I'm happy to chat more in the details, in the DMs. My brain is like having all the words this week. Yes, Serena, always the grace that we're learning. Serena also says, I have a friend that's too busy. And she was like, my family needs me more. I feel good with knowing I can choose that. Then she came down with really bad disease, and I know she's in bad shape. She's thankful for being present with their kids, and that time's precious. Absolutely. Absolutely. Beautiful comments, you guys. Share your wisdom. Share your wisdom. Actually, I think my computer is really cool now. I can see my notes up on my computer. Get new computers, guys. They're cool. So the first thing, if you're taking notes, first thing of 3 that I'm going to share in this class today, cultivate the reality that being a mother, so if you're an entrepreneur, that being a mother with entrepreneurship gifts is who you are. Cultivate the reality that this is who you are. Claim your leadership gifts. Claim your coaching guidance gifts. Claim your creative mind. Being a CEO of a business stems from how you are as the CEO of your life in general. Too many, so let's talk about that for a second. Does that make sense? Claim that this is who you are. A lot of people feel this like inner fire and they just think it's a fun thing. They think it's like, it hasn't been claimed out in the world as a spiritual gift. So a lot of times we think, oh, I just have this ambition. I just want to do this thing. And I'm like, no, it's a gift. It is a gift. To think entrepreneurially is not how everyone on earth thinks. They don't think about how to package something like, oh, if I could say this on a podcast, if I could put this into a course, if I could create this product that does this thing for humans. That is an entrepreneurial mind. Yes, a lot of people think creatively, but not everyone thinks about how will this create value for someone else? Where have I come from A to B? Like they're thinking processing. They think of the process. So own your leadership gifts. Claim your guidance gifts. Cultivate the reality that this is who you are. This is an identity piece. And we have a great, awesome section inside the Elevated Mother business to help you work on your identity. We also have an incredible new identity section in the Elevated Mother Experience program that we just added a month ago. And it is continually showing such great shifts, changes, and wonderful things happening when we actually do the identity work. Because a lot of that taking on other people's experiences and feeling burnout and all this stuff is because we actually haven't identified within ourselves, oh, this is my vision and this is how I know I'm going to show up. This is the gifts I've been given. This is my potential I'm growing into, right? And they have an identity there. I will never forget when I earned my first $10,000. And I was like, in a month. And I was like, oh my gosh, like my heart was beating, and I hurry and put some in savings, and I hurry and put some on my credit card. And before I knew it, I had about $1,500 left in my account. And my coach, I got on with my coach at the time. Guys, mentorship is king. Mentorship is king. And I was like, yeah, like I made $10,000. And we were sharing our wins. And I said, it feels big and heavy and whatever. But then the next month, like I was all excited. But then the next month I was like feeling the strain of not having money. And I'm like, I just made $10,000. Why do I still feel like I don't have money? And my spiritual coach was like, how much money did you leave in your account last month? I'm like, well, I had to pay expenses and stuff. And she's like, no, you told us in your win that you were able to pay off your credit card and put some in savings. How much did you leave in your account for your business? And I was like, I think it was like $1,450 or something. And I was like, I left $1,000, $1,450. And she goes, okay, Robin, so your financial set point is not all of a sudden $10,000. And financial set points is something we're going to talk about in the Elevated Mother business. And I was like, oh, because I was wanting to up my financial identity, that I had a set point that was around like $800 to $1,300 for like 10 years in my business that I would like always have. But I had earned up and down. I'd earned 5,000 and 4,000 in these different numbers, but it seemed like I always had just $1,000 to work with. And she's like, Robin, if you left that much in your account, that's your financial set point. And I was like, she's like, that's the number you're comfortable with sitting there as income to spend. And I was like, oh my gosh, she was right. The $10,000 felt big and heavy and like I had to take responsibility for it. So I hurry and put it in all these other places that felt responsible. Thereby, I still didn't have any more money than what I was comfortable with. Does that blow your minds? So now I am very conscious when I'm paying bills and paying my team commissions, paying all the bills with the business, paying myself a paycheck. I go and look at my account. I'm like, how much did I leave here? What's just sitting there? And I can confidently tell you there is more than tens of thousands in my account just sitting there, because I am now very aware that my financial set point gets to be tens of thousands of dollars right now. And I'm working on that number being hundreds of thousands of dollars by the end of this year, right? But that came with cultivating the reality that this is who I am. I have tens of thousands of dollars in my checking accounts. I have tens of thousands of dollars in my savings. I have regular contributions to my investments. You know what I mean? Like, I got to cultivate this. If you feel like so many things, and this is number 2, so many things about your business is extra, you have an identity issue, and that's why that's number 1. Number 1, cultivate the reality that you having a business and being an entrepreneur is you. Number 2, your business is not extra. It is not for fun. It is not your thing that's just, no, no, no. Your business is a choice for personal purpose and fulfillment. It is literally an extension of you. It's not out here. If as long as it's out here, you will have issues. Think about your husband if they work full time. A lot of people inside the Christian culture, their spouse, the male figure, is often the breadwinner or something like that. They had that mindset growing up that they were going to grow up, get educated or get a skill, and they were going to go and get a great job and continue to progress in this job as a means to support a beautiful wife and family. That is really common in the Christian culture. I'm not saying that has to be what you experience, but it is common. You go ask a man that does that if his job is extra. I'm not saying he doesn't like try to balance his family and stuff, but like, is that extra? Because if the wife thought, there he goes off to work again, it's extra. But when you both view it as a necessity, there's a whole different energetic there. Are you guys understanding this? There's a whole different energetic there when the business is not extra. When the job isn't extra, it is needed, necessary. You both work to support what that looks like. Maybe you make dinner for him. If you work, maybe you both tag team the house cleaning and the stuff like that, right? You create agreements within a partnership like that. Whoever is working, maybe you both work equal hours and you share that. I'm sure you've worked it out. But for our purpose today, as a mom CEO, someone that's balancing things, if the business is extra, it will always be an energy leak. Hey, Amy, it will always be an energy leak because you don't think it's necessary fully. So then every time you work on it, in your mindset and in your physiology, it's extra. It's like, I already climbed the mountain. I guess I'll go climb this one too. Instead of, why don't we climb the mountain and the business goes with us? It's part of it. It's part of our day. It's part of our thinking. It's part of who we are. My business is part of me. When I'm on a road trip and I answer a client, I'm not like, oh, I shouldn't be working on this trip. My husband takes work calls sometimes. Sometimes that happens. It depends on how you've set up your business. Sometimes clients, if you're choosing to be a business owner that has, regular interactions with people, you might get a call when you are out doing something. I have zero guilt when I take a moment to answer a client or a team member back. I'm like, this is who I am. And what's even more, I go to places and travel, and I do all these things, and I work and do stuff. Guess what? I get to write off on my taxes. Look, when you make your business part of you and part of your life, you basically write most of your life off on your taxes. So the mindset of whether or not your business is necessary for your happiness and fulfillment, and it's just part of you, will make or break if your business succeeds. I promise. And if you have a mindset about your husband's work, that it's extra and you think he should be doing something different, that will rock the boat in your marriage. 100% hands down. I had an experience where for years I resented my husband's business because I thought he should be doing something different. I didn't think he was living up to his potential in that job. I had all these judgments against what my husband was choosing to do. And I saw certain things that stressed him out. My motherhood nature was like, he just shouldn't be in that job then. It's so bad. And I would talk to him and he's like, honey, would you stop it? I actually like this job. I like that I don't work Sundays ever. I like that I get holidays. I like that I have a really clean work environment. I'm not dealing with language. I'm not dealing with, and he named off all this stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, my husband has to defend to me what he's doing that has provided for us for over 10 years. a little bit of a, oh, sorry. Like I really, he was so good to point that out to me, but I had to go, wow, what was that about? Not only was it about judgment, but I realized there was something within me that wasn't being met. That's why, guys, you got to take care of yourselves. There was something within me, a need that wasn't being met, that I was then like floating over here to my husband to have this need met. But what I wasn't seeing was that that's what he chose. Giving him the space that he chose something that he thought was wonderful and great. And for the most part, it was covering our bills and all the stuff. I thought, you know what? He's a big boy. He's going to choose what is going to help his greatest happiness. I wonder if I could do that too. That was really a big moment for me. Instead of worrying about his happiness and his grown-up choices, why don't I go get back in my lane and start running it? I don't even know what's out there for me, but I had to claim that entrepreneurial spirit. I had to claim that I really had leadership skills, and I had to claim it. And then I had to say, this is not extra. Whatever I do isn't my side hustle. I stopped using that language. This isn't my side thing. This isn't my little thing to make ends meet. I used that language for the first couple of years. You will not hear me say that anymore, ever. I haven't said that for probably 6 years. It is part of me. And when I stepped into that, I started making financial decisions. All sorts of stuff started happening because I identified with it. I realized it was my choice. My husband didn't have to know. I used to like tell him about my business. Like, you know what? He doesn't tell me every decision his boss makes. Like, why do I think I need to do that? Again, inner work. So the business is not extra. It gets to be part of you. Okay, this is CEO mom mindset. This is how it's going to work. If you're a mom and a business owner, that is not all of a sudden, it's not separate. Just like doing the laundry and making the food and shopping, you now have business tasks that you do. This comes to number 3. Outsource. I laugh because I had such a hard journey learning this that I didn't have to do all things. Outsource what you do not love as soon as you feel any inkling that you feel spread thin. Because once you feel spread thin, you are depleting yourself. And if you have a business, the product of any business is you, right? The way you sell, the way you talk, the way you guide, the way you do anything is your product. If you haven't put that in there, we're going to talk about that in the Elevate Mother business too. You are your product. So if you feel spread thin, you are depleting your product. You're depleting your productivity. You are depleting your very life essence. Okay. And some people say, well, on paper, I am not earning enough to pay someone this thing. How will you ever earn more without paying them that thing? That was a hard lesson for me. My coach had to literally tell me over 3 weeks, Robin, hire somebody. Robin, it is time to hire. And I was just like, it was hard. It was definitely a leap of faith for me to hire somebody when I hadn't met my bigger financial goals. But she was like, Robin, you're not reaching those goals because you're too spread out. And I was like, I can see it, but man, I was so identified with the money that it was scary on a personal level. So on paper, we might think hiring is depleting our income. And that might look true on paper for a few weeks. But you got to remember, in the real world, it's only true if you believe it. If I go, oh, if I hire her, then my income's going down, then that's exactly what will happen. That's why that inner work is so important. We work on our belief systems. Chelsea says, what was the first one? Cultivating the reality that this is who you are. Owning that you are entrepreneurial, that gets to be your identity. So outsourcing. Outsource what you do not love. Those things in your business that you're like, ugh. You all know what they are. Write them down. Those things in your home that you're like, ugh. Because here's another thing. I was in a whole group of amazing entrepreneurs, just incredible. People who are doing 100,000 a month regularly, right? And I learned from one of them. She had kids, and most of us were moms. And she's like, oh, I outsourced my laundry years ago. And I'm like, you outsourced your laundry? I had never had modeling around that. Hopefully there's some of you that's a normal thing. I looked it up in my city. It's like $150 a month for like 8 loads of laundry or something, like, on a weekly basis or something. And I was like, that is so cheap. And you just put your laundry on your porch. They pick it up, wash it, and they pay attention to all the fabrics and everything. And then they bring it back to your porch all folded. What is this magic? Like, maybe that's super cheap from the area that I live, but I was like, I looked up other laundry services and it's not that expensive. And I thought, laundry to me isn't something that's an issue. We have a family goal that everyone's very self-sufficient. So once our kids are 5, or when I feel like they're capable, which has been 4 with some of the kids, but they learn about taking their laundry basket to the laundry room when it's full, and I teach them, that the soap goes in. So they're part of it early on. And by the time they're 5, they can start the washer. And then through the day, I rotate it. And then when it comes out, they help me fold it. And by the time they're 5 and 6, guys, my 6-year-old has done her own laundry all year. Like, as far as she's not tall enough to like change it, but I change it through the day, and she starts it and she folds it. She's 7 today. Today's her 7th birthday. But that's not something I've had to outsource, but it's something that I've systemized within my home. We're going to talk about home systems in the Elevated Mother business. So outsource as soon as you start to feel like this. You guys, do you know what I mean when I go like this? It's like, so on paper, you've got to say, okay, no emotions on paper. The depletion might feel like a few weeks or a month if you're staying integrity, but hiring is the only way to scale your income without this whole experience of burnout and exhaustion and all these things. Because here's the thing. I used to think, well, if I don't like this task, I don't want to give it to someone else. I had this moral dilemma that I was giving someone a horrible job. And my coach was like, Robin, you are judging. Stop judging. And I was like, she's like, there are women out there, they would love it if they could just get on their computer a couple times a day for like an hour or 2. They input data and information and relay things, and they love that. It's totally calculatable. They don't have a lot of emotion involved. It's easy for them, and they get a paycheck. They're not as entrepreneurial as you. They're not an idea generator. They love supporting you. They love being part of it, but they do not care if they're the face of it, if they lead it. They don't. And I was like, are you sure? Does somebody really want to come and do my laundry and clean my toilets? Like, really, you guys, I had to be like, you know what? I'm going to see who wants to do these tasks. And lo and behold, somebody came up that does these tasks for me. And the things I don't love to do is like personally messaging people and doing email campaigns and but she loves that. She likes to have her checklist and she gets it done and she keeps everything in order, and I pay her. Changed my life. That was truly when I was able to scale. And it was scary to start paying that paycheck until things started shifting. But because all of that was now on her plate, guess whose plate was open to do a few more sales calls, to do a few more product refinements? Now we're looking at a team of 5. Probably by the end of this month, it'll be 7. And you go, wow, that's how she can scale the Elevated Mother experience and start Elevated Mother business. And absolutely. I do not do this by myself. Shout out to my awesome team. Heather Shoemaker, Missy Reber, Cherie Carlisle, Christy Garcia. There's some other people we pay through Fiverr that are doing the podcast, that are doing, other tasks. That's how we do it all, is outsourcing. Now, in my house, I've got 5 kids. They do the chores. They clean the house. It's the way it works. When they're all gone, I am positive I'll be hiring a cleaner. Great. Okay. So outsource what you do not love as soon as you feel that little, oh, I'm missing that task. I'm dropping the ball over here. How did I let that fall through the cracks? Those kinds of ideas, outsource as soon as possible. If that means a babysitter, if that means you have to really look and go, what are those tasks that I am either not doing because of I need a sitter, the tasks that I'm letting fall through the cracks because I just hate them, they deplete my energy. Hire someone. Someone wants to work minimal hours. Somebody wants to just have a simple paycheck. They do, and they're good at it, and they like it. Don't prejudge what someone may or may not do. So those are the 3 things I want to teach today about Mom CEO mindset and how this balancing it all can actually work. Just a couple supplemental ideas. Realize that balance in and of itself is an illusion. Think of a ballerina. When they're up there on those toe shoes, if you were to zoom in on the shoes, they're going like this. And it's a lot of work. It is so much work. Ask anyone that's done ballet. It is so much work for them to stand in that one position when they're just like sitting there. My feet are moving. Like they're just sitting there and their feet are like this. You think, oh, they have such beautiful balance. You go watch an Olympic gymnast when they're on that balance beam. If they were to zoom the camera in on their ankle, the ankle is going like this. There is no such thing as a perfect balance in humanity. You could find that in an element, a rock. But even then, I think if you were to zoom in at a molecular level, it's moving. Okay? So the actual idea of balance, where everything will just feel perfect or something, I don't know, right? It's an illusion. It will always be like this. Always. You'll have times where you realize you're way out in left field on something and you rein it back in. You realize you're way out in left field on this thing in your spiritual department and you rein it back in. No judgments. It will always go like this. Always. Because we're always learning and growing. And the law of cause and effect says, oh, I'm doing this thing or learned this. And all of a sudden another area moves. Oh, I hired this girl. I'm moving this. And all of a sudden this area moves. It's okay. Have a lot of grace for the mess. Allow trial and error. Oh, but overall, you've got to do that inner work so that you can decide what peace feels like for you. I've got thousands of moving pieces and I am more at peace than I've ever been in my life because I've sat with it with God and this is what I'm doing. This is what I get to do in this human experience and I love it. I love it so much. I love serving hundreds of people. I love creating things. I love teaching you about this. I love coming with moms that are like, I have this idea, but I'm feeling stressed. I'm like, oh, tell me about your belief systems about that. Let me teach you about the skills of reframing. Let me teach you about belief work. And all of a sudden their eyes go on and they're like, oh, and they're empowered. I love it. I love it so much. If this is you and you'd like some guidance and some mentorship, come into the Elevated Mother business. It's a beta launch, which means we're doing it all live. It means that you get a discount because you're a beta client, which means we'll be testing different things out and asking for your feedback. It's going to be awesome. Christy Garcia, if she's in here, she's going to be one of our main team players for that. Missy will be one of our team players for the sales pieces. It's going to be amazing. You will be able to have so much clarity and beautiful experiences within this group. If you're ready for that, drop EMB in the chat and we will talk about it. We will go into the DMs and we will talk about your questions, your concerns, anything. And if you're like, dude, I want a holistic approach. I think I need to do more inner work. I think that I would like to do that work you talked about kind of at the beginning. I highly recommend the Elevated Mother Experience. That is ongoing enrollment. It's an incredible, robust program. You can put EMX in the chat if you think that you want to maybe chat with us about EMX. So that's all I have for you guys today. Sheena is it already in? Yeah, Sheena, so that she's already in EMX and she's going to do EMB. She's one of those people. Super good. All right, guys. I hope you have the most amazing weekend. And if you're in Idaho, you probably need to wear a coat all day tomorrow. It's going to be like negative 20 degrees. So appreciative of all of you. Have an amazing weekend. Goodbye.